Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We are back for the Sunday evening Kneejerk stream. So, hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, it's been a decent weekend of football, I guess. How you doing, Jordan?
Yeah, everything's good on my end. Hopefully, everyone else is having a nice day as well in terms of football. Hopefully, you got your results.
Yeah, we'll break it down how our weeks have gone so far in terms of the game week. It's not been a great game week so far. I think that's fair to say. I'll let you kick it off first with your team, Jordan. Talk us through your game week 37 so far.
So yeah, started off in goal. We have Edison. He was one of my transfers in on that -12 I took. He does manage to get a clean sheet for his first part of the double game week against Fulham, which was quite nice. That paid off nicely, especially as it was a late transfer I made during the deadline stream, and a few who did convince me to obviously bring Edison in, which paid off. Moving on to the rest of the defence though, Reguilon, who was my single game week player, he conceded against Bournemouth very late on. I think very late on the Solanke goal, wiped their clean sheet off in the last minutes of that game. So only 2 points for him. Dunk, who was one of my other transfers, didn't pay off. Newcastle actually drew 1-1. Interesting result. That's not what I was expecting in that game, to be a draw, especially the way Brighton have been this season. But yeah, that ends up as a no clean sheet for Dunk, but he still has Chelsea at home to play. And last, we've got Gabriel, who obviously played against Man United just a few moments ago. And yeah, interesting result from Arsenal. Obviously, it's a big win for them. They now have to obviously take it to Everton now as their last game of the season. And there's nothing really much else they can do after that if they do win that game. So, but in terms of this game, Man United again, another loss for them, but a nice clean sheet for Arsenal and for Gabriel as well. Moving on to the midfield four. So first we got Gordon. He blanks against obviously Brighton, not part of the goal action from the only goal that Newcastle scored. So he's on 2 points. He has Man United away next. Moving on to Palmer. He manages to get an assist and is rewarded with the bonus 1 point as well. In that very action-packed game against Nottingham Forest, that ended up being 3-2 in the end, which, again, that was pretty intense. I didn't think there was going to be a win for Chelsea. I thought it was going to be a draw. But a late on, obviously, winner for Chelsea, who'd still have Brighton away next. Next, we've got De Bruyne. He ends up on 6 points as well. Pretty much the same assist and a clean sheet point during that game, and only played about 74 minutes before coming off the pitch. So he's rewarded with 6 points, and he has Tottenham away next. And finally, to complete the midfield, we've got Son, who ends up with a blank with only 2 points. Even though Spurs scored 2 goals, Son wasn't a part of that. No returns for him, but he does have Man City at home next. And finally, moving on to the front three. Now, obviously, the captaincy. Wilson was not in the squad for that Newcastle game, so
I've completely forgot you captain Wilson.
Yeah,
this week. That's crazy.
So already it hasn't paid off at all. He's got 0 points for that. He does have Man United away next, but I feel like I've lost the captain pick for this week already, because who knows whether he'll be obviously back or not, depending on what's happened to him. But if he is not back, I would prefer that, because then the vice obviously captain is De Bruyne. So fingers crossed it can somehow work out at the end of this game week.
Okay.
Moving on to his teammate, obviously Isak blanked also. He came off at 67 minutes too, so a bit on early in that game. But yeah, he has Man United away next to see what he can do. And finally, speaking of Man United, we've got Højlund, who ends up on 2 points. I think this is no surprise that at this result. Obviously, Man United didn't score, and Højlund was pretty much not much involved during that game at all for Man United. But he does have Newcastle at home next. And finally, moving on to the bench boost, which was activated during this game week. to be fair, the single game players have done much better than the
Mm.
obviously the double game players in terms of the bench. But yeah, Branthwaite, he gets a clean sheet against Sheffield United in that 1-0 win. Doughty gets an attack and return, getting the assist against West Ham. They did lose that game 3-1, but he was a part of the attacking return from that goal. But he did get a point taken off for all goals conceded against him. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes wasn't in the squad for Man United. He still has Newcastle at home next. Hopefully, he does play that. And Area did concede, obviously, to Doughty 1 goal. So, yeah, overall, the -12 that I took hasn't paid off at all. And I am on the red arrow. I think my original rank that I was at before this game started was 204k. I'm now at 297k, so it's about a 95 or 90k red arrow for me so far. It's still a lot to play for, obviously part 2 of Double Gameweek 37, but that is how it's been so far for me. 49 points with the -12, that's 37. So yeah, not really paid off so far for me.
All right, let's pull up my team. So just bear with me for a second, guys, while I change the screen. I've not had any better of a game week either. So let me show you guys my team. Just bear with me for a sec. There you go. Yeah, so as you can tell from my rank as well, it's sort of been destroyed as well. So let's start off with the goalie. I had Petrovic. Well, Chelsea was a decent fixture for them, but how many did they concede? Was it 2 goals they conceded, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah, 2 goals.
Yeah, it was an interesting game. From Forest looked like they could have won it 2-1, and then Chelsea scored 2 late goals to end up winning 3-2. So obviously no clean sheet for Petrovic in the end. But he does have a second fixture against Brighton, and I'm hopefully he can get me something in that game. Again, it doesn't get much better really with the defensive three I have, because as you know, before the deadline, we found out that Walker was going to get benched. And Vardiol, who I was going to go with, as you guys know, I was debating Vardiol or Walker a couple of weeks ago, and I ended up going with Kyle Walker because he was more nailed, and I thought it's less likely to get rotated. And obviously, with Pep Roulette, you can never predict what he's going to do. He goes and benches Kyle Walker, and Vardiol goes and scores 2 goals. And he could have had a hat trick. He actually gave away. He sort of let Alvarez have the penalty for his hat trick. So, yeah, whoever got Vardiol in, credit to you guys. Obviously, he came away with an 18-pointer in the end. Walker comes away with a 6-pointer. I was lucky he actually got the clean sheet, though, because Ake came off injured, which meant Walker came in and he played about 80 minutes, I think. So, yeah, I mean, clean sheet, but overall, disappointed that I didn't have got Vardiol in my team. Pedro Porro, however, did come away with a 9-pointer, which was nice. He did score, which we were hoping for Pedro Porro. He hasn't scored in a while, hasn't got any returns for a long time. So it was nice to see Pedro Porro, involved in the action after Spurs' 2-1 win, I believe, to relegate Burnley, I think. Mickey van der Ven also scored. For those that watched our deadline stream would have known that Mickey van der Ven or Romero was the one I was looking at. And the one I picked, obviously, is the one. The other one goes and scores, obviously, Van der Ven, which was frustrating. But, yeah, I'm happy with the Porro. Obviously got Man City next. I don't expect a clean sheet, but hopefully, they can get some goals. And then Dan Burn, again, frustrating that Newcastle conceded in that fixture. A lot of us were looking at that as a clean sheet potential game for Newcastle, but in the end, Newcastle come away with a 1-1 draw at home to Brighton, wasn't it? In the end.
Yeah.
In the midfield, again, it's not great. Son blanks against Burnley. You got Gordon, obviously, who played against Brighton, did blank as well. I thought I was a bit disappointed to see Gordon blank. I expected a lot more from Newcastle in that game. I thought it could be a high-scoring game, but he just wasn't. Palmer carries on his form, another assist. So he just carries on getting a return every week. So yeah, great from Palmer, which I'm happy about. Again, another fixture left to play. Foden, the one I took a hit for, I did take a -4 to bring in Foden, which was one of my players I was looking at having a good week. He did score, so he scored the 3rd goal, I believe. No, sorry, the 2nd goal for Man City's 4-0 win against Fulham. But yeah, Foden carries on the great, season that he's having. A lot of goals for Man City, important ones as well. So yeah, lovely 9-pointer for Foden. And then the other hit I took was for Jackson, and I took Jackson for Hoyland. Now I'm glad I did that because Hoyland blanked, and then Jackson, we knew he'd probably score, and he won Chelsea the game in the end, in the 3-2 win, scoring in the 82nd minute. So yeah, that's clutch from Jackson, and coming away with a win with Brighton next as well. So I'm just looking at the players I took a hit for. Jackson's already paid it off because Hoyland was the one I took out. Foden for Saka, that paid off because Saka blanked. The other moves I did was Romero for, can't remember what defender I took out. And then Onana's already outscored Kelleher. So I feel like the 4 I took I had to take because all of them have already outscored them in one game.
I think Gusto was the replacement.
And he was benched. So yeah, so all the players I sort of bought in, I sort of had to take that -12. Because if I didn't take that, I think my rank would have been worse because I would have not had Foden and Jackson who both returned. So yeah, it's just one of those weeks where my team wasn't set up great because I did wildcard quite a long time ago. Obviously, we've discussed Jackson who scored. Haaland did blank as well as Isak, so that was a bit of a surprise. But they do have a game to come. I think Man City play, or was it Tuesday or was it Wednesday night?
Tuesday night. But they play obviously their last game against Spurs.
I'm just trying to see what the fixtures are like. Let me have a look. I think it's a Wednesday night game for Man City. No, my bad. It is Tuesday. Spurs v Man City in that big game for Man City. 8 p.m. kickoff. So we'll see how Haaland and Son, etc., get on in that one. But yeah, pretty disappointing on the bench as well. Onana, we didn't expect a clean sheet, so he comes away with 1 point after Arsenal's 1-0 win. Fernandes, very annoying that he didn't play. There was rumors that he might start, he might miss out. It looks like his injury is more serious than first thought. So hopefully he's there for Newcastle at home. Man United definitely missed someone like Bruno, I thought, today, because obviously I don't think Arsenal were great today. But I think Arsenal were comfortable. They knew they probably wouldn't concede, and without Bruno, I think Man United had that threat. So he was well missed today. And then Gabriel, I thought Arsenal were pretty comfortable in defence. They weren't tested by Man United much, and it was pretty comfortable, clean sheet in the end. So yeah, as we Arsenal do, another clean sheet for Arsenal. So pretty good. Romero comes away with a blank as well. So obviously we know Tottenham did concede to Burnley. And yeah, that was a bit frustrating that he lost his clean sheet point. But all in all, it's been a pretty bad game week because my rank, I think, was 32k at the start of the game week. Now it's 52k. So it's a 20,000 red arrow. But I still have, was it 14 players left to play still in the second half of the game week. But realistically, looking at it, I don't have many differentials that can really give me a big rank gain. I got Kyle Walker that could if he scores. I've got Romero, but a lot of the other players I have are quite template. So I'm not sure I can get a green arrow anymore this week, but we'll have to see second half. There is still a couple of games left. So yeah, I'm on 60 points, guys. I did take a -12 hit, as you guys know. So was it 48 points essentially for me this game week. So not a great week, but that's what we're looking at so far. Let's take a few comments. We've got Cole. You really took a -12. Yeah, had to take the -12. I had extra like Kelleher. I had Gusto and things like that. So I thought I'd bring in double game week players, but sometimes, as we've seen with like Arsenal, some players can outscore single game week players as well. Took a -12 point hit, including Vardiol, moved me up 200k, but still only 700k in the world. It says NH1999. Yeah, Vardiol was the annoying one because I would have got him in last week, but I was worried that he would get benched in the double. And that hasn't happened. Vardiol's been on fire, scoring nearly every week, it seems. He's turned into like Gundogan, like just coming in clutch near the end of the season for Man City, just scoring goals. And the Kyle Walker Vardiol, pick, whichever one you went with. Obviously, the Vardiol one has just totally blown the Walker one completely. FPL Freddy says Onana got 3 points. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Onana did get 3 points for me. So yeah, he outscored Kelleher, and he should outscore Kelleher by the game against Newcastle. Abbas as well. I took a hit to get Vardy for Walker. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I would have had to take a minus 16 to bring in Vardy. Probably, obviously, would have been worth it. Probably now, the amount of points he got. But yeah, I did not see him scoring 2 goals. To be fair, so here's what it is.
I don't think anyone saw that coming. Maybe we should have expected it due to his previous form.
But yeah, essentially that's game week. Obviously, Man City, Tottenham still to come on Tuesday, and Wednesday we've got a couple of games as well. We've got Brighton and Chelsea, and then we've got Man United and Newcastle to come as well. And then obviously Monday night Liverpool play Villa in the single game week fixtures for both teams. But yeah, let's move on to obviously game week 38, the final game week of the season, which, you know, should be a decent end to the season. I've got a bit of a benching headache, I think, this week. This is what my current team looks like for game week 38, bus team. I've also got 1 free transfer. So let's start off with So obviously Petrovic in goal, who's got Bournemouth. I've got a back 3 of Walker, Porro, and Gabriel. I've got a midfield 4 of Son, Gordon, Palmer, and Foden. And up front, I've got Jackson, Haaland, and Isak. On the bench, Onana, Bruno, Byrne, and Romero. I'll have to wait and see whether Bruno is fit for the second game in game week 37, and then I'll decide if I'm going to play him against Brighton away in game week 38. But yeah, that's what essentially my team's looking like. In terms of transfers, I have no idea what I want to do. There is one player I'd like to bring in for game week 38. It is Salah, but I can't go to Salah in one move. I'm definitely not taking a minus hit. Like, I'm not taking a -4 this week. So maybe I can bring Saka in. Saka against Everton at home, or someone like Havertz, potentially, maybe an Arsenal midfielder for the final week, but definitely no hits for me this week. So that's what the plan is. Probably bringing in an Arsenal midfielder, Havertz or Saka. I'm not sure yet. What about your team? What's your bus team looking like? Who are you captaining as well, actually?
So yeah, let's just go through it. So Ederson's in goal, back 3 regular on Doughty and Gabriel. All got home fixtures, which is nice. Midfield 4 of Gordon, Palmer, De Bruyne, and Son. Up front, we've got Wilson, Isak, and Højlund. Obviously, that might change depending on what's happened to Wilson. That's still to come, and obviously Bruno Fernandes as well. Whether he is going to be fit enough for the last game week of the season. Otherwise, that is currently how the team looks. The captaincy is on Palmer. I could put it on Son, but then it's going to be really obvious because everyone else is pretty much going to go captain Son this week because you've got Sheffield United away. So again, I'm going to go different and go Palmer just to see if I can sort of recover some of the rank I've lost in the past 4 game weeks. I think that's like 4 or 5 red arrows in a row now that I've had. So I'm on quite a red streak at the moment. But that is how the team's looking for currently. In terms of transfers, it all depends on Bruno Fernandes or Wilson, really, because I might transfer either one of them out if there's any issues going forward.
What's the money in the bank for your team?
Let's just switch over to see. I think I have a lot of money. Well, actually, 3.4.
Yeah, 3.4.
So a fair bit of money. In terms of who I thought...
I mean, what about Bruno to Salah, something like that? If you could get Salah in, who's got... I think Liverpool play Wolves final day with his differential, how low owned he is.
Yeah, because Salah's about 23%. Could be a good finish to the season, bringing Salah in.
You can't even get it.
It's 1.6.
That's like, I wanted Salah too, just to be different, because most people have sold him. But
yeah,
maybe an Arsenal midfielder.
Yeah, maybe an Arsenal midfielder. It all depends though on whether
chat saying Olise or Eze. Obviously, Olise again showing that he's a top player, and we've been talking about Olise for a couple of weeks, saying how good of an option he is, and obviously he's gone and done big things in the last couple game weeks. Would you consider a Palace midfielder? Villa final day, so it's not a easy fixture, but the way Palace are playing right now, they're absolutely just tearing it up.
Yeah, it's a breath of fresh air for the new manager. That's come to Crystal Palace. Seems to have brought back Crystal Palace's lethal attack.
Yeah, Mateta's just turned into like some crazy goal scorer. How many goals is that for Mateta now in the last few weeks? He scored again, didn't he? I think yesterday.
Yeah, I believe he did. Let's just have a look at Mateta's record so far. Goals. So far, that's 13 goals for Mateta. That's mad.
I think majority of them have since Glasner's been here. Because before that, I don't remember him scoring too many goals, but he's been on a mad run recently.
Yeah, 1 goal, 2 goals there, then 2 goals back to back, then another goal there. So yeah, Mateta probably one of the underlooked players this season in terms of options forward. 5.4% ownership. Yeah. If something is wrong with Wilson, then I might potentially bring in Mateta for last game week. So yeah, Crystal Palace player could be good.
Let's pull up the fixtures. Obviously, we know there's still games to be played in 37, but in terms of 38, what sort of fixtures stand out to you as one you can target in the final day? So I'm just looking at the fixtures. I think Spurs and Sheffield. Obviously, Sheffield, we know they're relegated pretty much, and Spurs, even though they don't have much to play for, because again, it will come down to whether Aston Villa lose tomorrow night. Because if Aston Villa lose, then obviously Spurs sort of have to play for Champions League football, so they might have something going into the final day. Maybe someone like a Brennan Johnson as a punt could be worth it. Man City, West Ham. Again, we've got Man City assets already. For, the likes of KDB, Foden, Haaland, etc. Luton, Fulham doesn't stand out to me personally. Liverpool, Wolves in the final day is Klopp's last game. It is at Anfield. I think Liverpool will try go out there and just, sort of be like a party mood, final day for Klopp. And I think Salah, whoever doesn't have Salah, could be a really good pick because he's going to be so low owned. I don't mind a punt on Salah personally if you can afford him. So I would, I think Salah is one of those players that I'd want to bring in just to sort of go different, trying to break back into the top, 20, 30K. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, we've discussed the Palace assets, like the likes of Mateta, Elise, Eze, doing really well. Chelsea, Bournemouth, again, is a good fixture. The likes of Jackson, Palmer, if you've got them, majority of us already do. So maybe a captaincy shout for a Chelsea player isn't a bad shout.
I mean, Reece James could be in there. He got 2 assists.
Did he get 2 assists?
He got 2 assists in that Chelsea game.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game, so I know he was on the bench, and I was tempted to go Reece James. Remember, I was tempted to do Gusto to Reece James, but
yeah,
I'm glad I went Jackson in the end. But yeah, Reece James could be a punt. No one's going to own him. If he can stay fit, hopefully he doesn't get injured by game week 38, but could be a good pick. Burnley, Forest, I'm not really, that game doesn't excite me for any assets. Man United, Brighton, again, I'd avoid Man United assets, I think, for the final game week. Brentford, Newcastle, again, we've got Isaac. Majority of us have Gordon and the likes. So yeah, I think we're set for that fixture. If you can bring in Wilson if he's fit, if Wilson has a good game against Man United, then maybe he becomes an option. I think Arsenal assets are an option as well. I think for me, the players to target are Arsenal players potentially, like Havertz, Trossard. We saw Trossard score today. Trossard could be a good option. Saka, if he's, I still prefer Havertz, I think, if I was going an Arsenal midfielder or Odegaard even. But yeah, for me, it's Liverpool and Arsenal midfielder this week. Assuming you just want to get the one transfer, I don't think it's worth taking a hit, guys, just late on now. So those are the players I'd be looking at personally.
Yeah, I think for those chasing the ankle high, potentially going for a complete different fixture, maybe Crystal Palace and Aston Villa, like the likes of Elise or Mateta or Eze, any of those 3 are good options going forward if you're wanting to climb the final bits of the season ranks up and get the best rank you possibly can.
Yeah.
Or even Salah if you can afford it too.
Yeah. Also, guys, make sure you do drop a like on the stream if you're watching. If you are enjoying the content, as always, much appreciated. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you are subscribed if you're watching for the first time. But yeah, look, I'm probably gonna go Arsenal. I can't afford Salah, or it would be Salah for me. Let's see some of these comments. Didn't see it coming, but did it because Walker was benched and Vardy was starting. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe I should have done the same. But yeah, that Vardy dagger, because I didn't realize how high Vardio's ownership is near my rank. Like, he's completely destroyed me. That him getting that massive haul. Everyone's got him pretty much. So yeah, I mean, my rank 52k right now. So it's one of those. I'm quite happy with where I was at the start of the season, but in the last couple weeks, I thought maybe I can make a push top 20k. But you know, if it's 50k ish rank, we'll take it. But yeah, going back to my team. Let me zoom out. Do you think I've got the bus team right though? Is there anyone you'd play on the bench? Would you play Romero potentially? I mean, I think you've got to play Gabriel as well because Arsenal's defense.
Yeah.
I think another clean sheet for Arsenal today.
Yeah, you definitely got to play the Man City and Arsenal defender. It's a bit of a headache because Pedro Porro, you've got 2 Spurs defenders. So,
yeah.
I mean, in the unlikelihood someone gets injured and then someone replaces him from Romero, that's the only thing I can see. I'll probably put Romero first bench anyway.
Yeah.
Just in case, and then maybe Bruno, but that depends on whether he's fit or not.
Captain options as well, says Sherwin. I'm currently on Haaland. Again, he's got West Ham at home. The title race is going to the final day. Pretty much confirmed after Arsenal's win. So Man City will have to win that game because obviously Arsenal winning makes it interesting now. He takes it to the final day. So I'm still going to go with Haaland, I think. But I think if you want to go different, I think Palmer, Jackson, obviously they got Bournemouth at home. It's a decent game. Spurs against Sheffield is decent, but I just don't trust Spurs right now. They're not scoring that many goals. So I personally wouldn't go there. But if you're chasing and you need to go different, then maybe a Son against Sheffield away. You know, Sheffield are on the beach. You know, they're relegated pretty much. So maybe Spurs go there and put a few past them. But for me, I'm going to stick it on Haaland. You're on Palmer. You see yourself changing, or would you stay on Palmer or?
I think let's stick with Palmer captain. I don't think I'll change it because I am chasing a lot. So he's most likely going to be my captain. Yeah, I could go Son, but then there's going to be a lot of captaincies, I think, over him. Maybe even for Palmer as well, but there's not really anyone eye-catching apart from that. I mean, De Bruyne possibly, but there's no other option. Unless I hear Wilson is playing, maybe, or Isaac, one of the two. They could be one of the contenders, but currently it's on Palmer.
Cool. Yeah, Wilson being, when we heard the news that he's not even in the squad, I was surprised. But there was rumours about Wilson. You can never trust his fitness either. So him obviously not being involved is obviously a big blow to your team. But I think Bruno's the interesting one as well, because if Bruno is back, you may want to play him against Brighton away. It's not a bad fixture. Brighton don't keep many clean sheets. So depending on how Man United play, obviously Man United weren't great today. I thought, they didn't look like scoring against Arsenal. So Bruno coming back would be a big sort of advantage for them. So maybe I can just play Bruno if I see if he's fit for that game. But yeah, guys, let us know how you've gotten on so far as well in game week 37 so far, double game week 37. It's been a pretty high scoring week. I don't know what my safety is near my rank. It must be high. I can check.
Definitely mine is very high.
What was that? Sorry?
Mine is definitely very high, my safety rank.
What's the safety around your rank?
63.
63 points?
Yeah.
Damn, okay, cool. Let me check my one. Obviously, we both took -12s and we should have known was taking a -12 at this late of the season, but I had to take it because so many players I had didn't even have a fixture. The safety is 67 in my rank. Well, I'm on 48 points, so there's no way I'm getting a green arrow unless Kyle Walker goes and scores like 2 goals or something. And I'm trying to see, because my team's fairly template. My lowest differential player is Kyle Walker. And Romero, actually. I'd need Romero to do a madness, maybe get a goal or two, which I don't see
Well,
happening.
yeah.
Bruno Fernandes as well was quite low owned near my rank, 43%. So if Bruno can get a couple penalties or something against who they got, Newcastle, that would be nice. But yeah, it's looking like a red arrow for me this week, unless drastic things happen in the final games. But yeah, game week 38 is always a weird one because it's like you don't want to. It's like you can't really take a hit.
No.
You don't want to take a hit last game week, and there's not really any fixture that you can really target. The only player that really I'd want in my team is Salah for the last week, but I can't get to him unless I take a hit. So it's going to be Havertz or Odegaard, one of them, and then we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, guys, if you've got any questions in regards to questions for Game Week 38, drop it in the chat below. Also, let us know how you done, obviously, this week. Let us know what your rank is as well, because it's been a bit of a whirlwind sort of few weeks, because obviously I was ranked outside 200k, then I broke into like top 30k, then moved back down to 50. So it's sort of evened its way out. But I think I'll take it considering where my rank was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think 5 weeks ago for me, I was literally around your rank. Around 30k, and now landslided almost down to 300k. It's a massive turnaround ever since Double Gameweek 34, when Crystal Palace went, I think, big.
Yeah.
3 hitters territory. That's when it all sort of changed, momentum changed, and yeah, the non-free hitters were paying for it. Definitely outdone us, and obviously the blank game at 29 when a lot of us did free hit.
Yeah, free hit 29 obviously didn't go great. When free hit 34 was obviously really good for those I went there. Obviously, I was on a free hit 34, and that did sort of massively give me a rank boost, which I think I went from 130k or something to 30k, or whatever it was. But yeah, it's one of those swings. It was a very swingy week that week. Was it Mateta getting? He ended up getting like a 20 whatever points, 26 points or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
It was something big, unexpectedly big from Crystal Palace assets.
But yeah, man, that's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, in terms of the season, we will have a stream. I'm trying to see when the next deadline is, because it's Sunday, isn't it? The next deadline stream. Yeah, all the fixtures are on Sunday.
Yeah, at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so we'll stream. I'm trying to see what time we're streaming next on. So it's a 2:30 deadline on Sunday. So we'll stream around 1:30, and yeah, that's after the stream. We will also have like an end of season review where we'll review our teams. So make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be a double stream next Sunday, where we stream at 1:30 for the deadline stream, and then after the games we'll conclude our season, our final rank of the season as well. And then we'll see obviously who's won the league as well, because the league's tight. I mean, I expect Man City to win it now. You still got City winning it, or do you think Arsenal, there's a slip up somewhere? Or
I'll probably potentially see Man City winning it now. I see Arsenal and Man City winning the rest of their games, and then obviously Man City will win on their points over Arsenal. But yeah, that's how I see the season ending.
Sherwin says Solanke White, my double clean sheet in the 89th minute. I have Reguilon and Flecken still in a green arrow, 20k rank. Yeah, 20k is a great rank, so a big season there. But yeah, obviously I think you have Reguilon as well, don't you?
Yeah, that was a major blow when obviously Solanke scored in the very last minute before 90 minutes came. He could have had 2 though, Solanke, but it was ruled out the first goal he did score. So it could have been worse, obviously, but the clean sheet, annoying.
But Femi says Haaland was poor yesterday, bringing in Trossard for Gordon, assuming for 38. So, yeah, I didn't watch the Man City game. To be fair, I watched some of the highlights for the goals, but I didn't watch the full game, so I don't know how Haaland played. In regards to Trossard, yeah, I think Trossard could be a good pick for the last game week. The only thing I don't like about Trossard is he usually comes off. He doesn't play full 90 minutes. He gets about 70 minutes if he starts, as we saw again today, comes off for Martinelli. But when he's on the pitch, it does seem like he's a better goal scorer than Martinelli and even Saka. I think he's one of the better finishers that Arsenal have. So, yeah, he's a good option for the final week, especially if Arsenal go into that game, assuming they're going to have needing the win. So, yeah, good option. 68 points on a free hit, says Ellicott FC. Was rooting for you, Jordan. Let's hope Wilson Hall's next game. Yeah, the Wilson one's the one really where it could have, if Wilson played, if he scores, then that could have been a massive green arrow for you. Like, that's the risk you took, and obviously it's not paid off so far. But you never know. There is a second game.
Yeah, I have been unlucky with captaining Newcastle players because I captained Isak last game week. He goes and misses a penalty. He still scores though, but he still missed that penalty, which could have been quite good for that week. But yeah, it has been unlucky and unfortunate captaining Wilson so far. But yeah, hopefully he does play the next game in Hall.
It was a Man United Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a Man United Newcastle fixture.
That could be interesting. Is it a home game or?
I
don't even know what the fixtures are. Let's see. Yeah, Man United are at home actually.
I'll say they're at home.
Yeah, Newcastle away game. But yeah, should be a good game for the neutral. I can see goals in that one. Man United Newcastle Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's a lot of goals involved when it's an evening fixture, so it should be a good one to watch.
Yep, definitely. But yeah, Monday Night Football as well. We forgot about that. Obviously, Villa, Liverpool. No one really owns Liverpool Villa players at the moment. Obviously, they're single game week players. So definitely keep an eye on that one as well. Because if Aston Villa win, if Aston Villa get anything, then obviously Spurs, Man City becomes a bit interesting because the Spurs essentially can't get top four anymore. But if Villa win, then Spurs will need to kind of carry on the chase. Umar, 62 point with no free hit and still have 11 to play, top 48k. You think Saka is okay? 62 points is a nice score for definitely, especially with no free hit. Still 11 to play. Yep, 48k is a respectable rank, definitely. In terms of Saka, I think Saka is fine. I think I told you, Arteta always says Saka's carrying a knock, and then Saka always plays. So
yeah,
I mean, Saka does seem to get a little knock here and there, but he's always ready to play. So I can't remember the last time Saka missed a game through injury, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been quite a trooper. Plus, Arteta did sign to him to obviously go down on the pitch.
Yeah,
and then obviously he was substituted off at that point. So yeah, I'm assuming he'll be fine.
He'll be fine for sure.
Yeah.
I think he did take a bit of a knock, but Everton final day, Arsenal need to get the win. I think Arsenal can end up on 89 points now. So Man City obviously can get 91, I believe, still. So it is going to the final day, should make it a bit interesting. But I think that's everything in regards to like game week 37. Obviously, it's not been a great week for neither of us, taking a -12, not sort of paying off. Seems like a lot of you have done well though. A lot of you on 68 points, 62 points. Let us know your points, guys. Let us know what your rank is. Are you happy with your rank as well? I have money in the bank to bring Salah in instead of KDB. Should I do it, you think? I would bring Salah in personally. It's just because Salah is so low owned. If you're chasing rank, I think Salah is a great differential because not many people are going to be able to afford him, first of all, with his price. And most of us have sold Salah because he doesn't have a double this week. So I think Salah's a great pick. Final day in front of Anfield, Liverpool probably just playing for Klopp, really, just last game. And we saw Liverpool when the pressure was off, against Spurs. They put 4 past Spurs. So I think something like that could happen again against Wolves.
Yeah, I think Liverpool want to go off with a bang, being it like Klopp's last game, especially his away game as well. So yeah, they want to go off with a bang. So they'll probably score a whole lot of goals for his obviously for his managing career.
Yeah, that's what I think. I just think, and plus it's the ownership situation, and also there's another thing.
I think
could it be Salah's last game at Liverpool and Salah's last game at Anfield as well? As long as it's Klopp's, there is obviously rumors and things, but I think Salah will stay. From what I'm hearing, Salah wants to stay, but you can't rule it out him leaving, because we know he's at that age. He's got a year left on his deal. That's a whole nother deal. I'm sure we'll do videos as well in the summer when transfers are made, and we'll have content out, for the summer, guys. But yeah, look, you never know. It could be Salah's last game, so there's a lot of change at Liverpool as well. Obviously, with the summer, new manager coming in, so I think this last game, it could be goals, it could be a fun sort of atmosphere. So that's why I just think Salah could be a nice little differential for those that can afford him in one move. I wouldn't take a hit for Salah, I don't think, but even a captain Salah, if you've got Salah and you're chasing captaincy, I don't hate it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the talking points really for this game week. Unless is anything else we missed? Anything else about game week 38 that excites you? I mean, top 4 race, there's not really a big race as well, is there? When I look at the league table, I mean, Spurs, outside a chance they can get top 4. I think Aston Villa will probably get it the final day.
Yeah, it's basically between them two, and then
4 points in it. If Villa lose, though, it makes it interesting. The Man City game, obviously, Man City or Tottenham will have to try go for it.
Yeah, they still might have to go for it depending on that result. Luton still have a chance, but it's very, very slim. But they are on the brink of relegation. That again will depend on whether they can win against Fulham.
Yeah.
Whether or not the Forest can win against Burnley, but that's still in contention. Apart from that, though, you've just got Arsenal, Man City. If they could put the title race, so I think that's about the rivalries we have left in terms of the table.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the stream, I think. Unless anyone's got any other questions, drop them in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer your questions, guys. But yeah, it's been a pretty decent end to the season in terms of FPL wise. I mean, I know Red Arrows, we're both on Red Arrows, but I think I'm fairly. My last few weeks on FPL have been pretty good. I've been on getting big green arrows, but yeah, it's not a great week. I didn't expect the green this week, to be fair, when I took the -12. So yes, it's just one of those. Salah, Palmer, Son, and Saka. What do you think of this midfield? Yeah, I think it's a good midfield. I like the Salah pick, as I mentioned. Saka also, I think, is a good pick. I expect him to play in the final game of the season. And Saka's another one. A lot of managers don't have Saka and Salah, so I like those picks. And then Son, very popular pick. And then Palmer's got a good fixture. So yeah, good midfield.
Yeah, because I think Son could be transferred out a lot in the last game week if he does blank in his second fixture in this game week. So he could be a nice one to have alongside Salah and Saka as well.
Yeah, it's just Son's fixture. Sheffield, don't really want to take him out before he plays Sheffield. That's what, sort of leans me to just keeping him. And I wouldn't take hits, guys, in the final week. I just don't think it's worth it, especially there's no doubles. If you've got 2 free transfers, then you're in a good position, but definitely don't recommend taking hits final game. But yeah, I think that's it, Jordan. We'll wrap it up here. I think it's been quite a 45-minute stream. So want to thank everyone for watching this video, this stream. Drop your comments in, guys, after when we end the stream. Also, make sure you do hit that like button. Get the likes up, guys. Not enough likes on the video. Also, make sure you are subscribed. There's a lot of content to come, guys. Next season, we're going to change quite a few things up with the content. So make sure you are ready for that. Make sure you're subscribed. A few different things we're going to experiment with next season. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the season. Obviously, still a week to go. It feels like today was the end of the season. I don't know why. But there's still one more game week left. But yeah.
Yeah, because next season we potentially might include the challenge. Obviously, that new mode that obviously Premier League have introduced. So there's a lot to look forward to next season.
Yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend as well. And we will see you again on Thursday now for the team selection of the final time this season.
Yeah, take care, guys. See you for that team selection for the final game week. Until then, take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.